What up, Depth Chart? It's your boy, young broadcaster Jared Young, here on the set of the 2 Point Perspective with my co-host Miles on the mic, Miles Sweeney, my boy over here sporting the new jersey.
The tortilla shit-stained jersey.
Yeah, who you got on that jersey today, Miles?
I got my boy.
Watch your profanity.
See this. My boy Marv.
You got Marv on there?
Yep.
All right.
Looking pretty clean. Even you have to admit it's
it
pretty
looks
clean.
better. It looks better in person. It looks
Yeah.
better in person. Still like a tortilla, but better in person for sure.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it is week 3 of the NFL. It is episode 7 of the 2 Point Perspective, and we are ready to jump right in. So we got roster shakeup, Miles. Who we looking at?
Well, I want you to kick us off with Joe Burrow.
Yeah. Okay. All right, man. I'm taking quarterbacks this week. We got a plethora of injured quarterbacks right now. It is a mess out there in the NFL. It's a mess in the fantasy world. People are scrambling for Daniel Jones off the waivers. Jordan,
who would have thought that would be a sentence?
Yeah, no kidding.
And
Jordan Love got sniped from me earlier this week, so I was pretty upset about that. But I got a lot of trades going around right now. I know you had another trade, and we'll get into some fantasy stuff later here in the podcast. But to kick us off, man, let's talk about Joe Burr. Joe Burr, he's going to be out 3 months. He's got some turf toe, which is
it's a bitch.
That's a weird thing for us to say. I haven't heard a lot about turf toe, but apparently it's bad enough that he needs surgery. So Joe Burrow is going to be getting surgery on that turf toe. Jake Browning is going to step in. He had a pretty good week coming in, but we'll see how that progresses. I think the Bengals have a decent schedule, and we're just going to have to see how Jake Browning is going to use his weapons. Next up on the list, we got Brock Purdy. Same thing, turf toe, 2 to 5 weeks. His isn't quite as bad as Joe Burrow. Apparently, he doesn't need surgery. They're saying that there's a potential that he comes back this week, but I was feeling pretty good about Mac Jones. Mac Jones came out and had a really decent game, threw a few touchdowns. He started off a little cold, but really started to settle into the team and kind of take control. When we were, I don't know about you, but when I was watching the game, all the announcers kept saying is that he seemed happier than he's been in a long time out there. So that was good to hear, but I still think Brock Purdy's the guy. I got some people that are calling for Purdy's head, but after week 1, but man, he had got so many pressures out there in week 1, and Seattle's defense is no slouch. So I'm feeling pretty good with Purdy under center. I think he's still the guy.
And you paid him to be the guy, so he's not going anywhere.
Yeah, right. And nobody's picking up that contract if he's not. So next up on my list, I got J.J. McCarthy, high ankle sprain, out 2 to 4 weeks. It's going to be Carson Wentz under center for the Vikings.
Woo!
Yeah, I know. J.J. did not look too good in that second game. Wasn't super impressed. Week 1, obviously they were playing the Bears, so he had a little more room to work with, but yeah, not super impressed by JJ.
McCarthy's making me look like a fool. I think I'm done talking about the NFC North on this show because I've just been all over the place.
I'm staying true to the Packers, man.
I'm right there with you.
Staying true to the Packers.
I jumped ship. I'm on the bandwagon, but yeah, I had a lot of hope after that fourth quarter by McCarthy because he looked pretty good, and then he came out there and he made me look like a fool. So I am straying away from all NFC North until it is all said and done to where I can say that I predicted that all along, even though I probably didn't.
Next up on our list is Justin Fields. He's got a concussion. They're saying he's week to week right now. And the Jets have Tyrod Taylor, who's going to be under center. He's officially ruled out for this upcoming week. So that's where we're looking for the Jets. And then finally, this is another big one. I'd say this is Joe Burrow level, but Jaden Daniels has a knee sprain day to day right now. Is he ruled out officially? Do you know?
He should be. Yeah, I think he's we're looking at a couple of weeks. I'd be shocked if he's playing.
Yeah, if he is out, it's going to be Marcus Mariota under center. Marcus Mariota brings a pretty good veteran presence. I think that's a decent backup quarterback, at least in the interim. I mean, he's no Jaden Daniels, but if you need a backup quarterback, I'd be pretty happy to have Marcus Mariota under center.
Yeah, and he's been in that system for 2 years now.
Mm-hmm.
So, he knows the system. I think he he won a handful of games last year, didn't he? When I think he played a couple of games. He played at least one game. I know he won. But I think he's a good guy. Like, same with Jake Browning, somebody that you can have hope that they can keep it afloat for the meantime. Obviously, Jane Daniels won't be missing as much time as Joe Burrow, so you have way more wiggle room with that. But I think Mariota's fine. I do think their offense through 2 games has been a little stagnant.
They also lost a little bit of their run game too, right? Like you see Austin Eckler go down, and I texted you when I'm watching that game, and I texted you immediately. I said Achilles, he's done.
It's not a hard find.
I dropped him before the next play.
Yeah,
I knew immediately. I mean, it's so obvious when non-contact falls to the ground, grabs his back of his leg like that.
Yeah, so. They're missing Brian Robinson now.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, no kidding. I'm not sure how those rookies are going to fare back there. We'll have to see.
That's a lot to put on. I always forget his name, but the 7th round pick that they have. That's a lot to put on a guy.
Krosky?
Something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember how to say it.
I know Ryan had him in his fantasy, and he got 1 point.
He's got him starting. He's got him starting this week against me, by the way.
Yeah.
Poor Ryan. Ryan better hit the treadmill, man, because it's not looking good for him.
He's staring down the barrel of 0-3.
Yeah.
So, but you and I are in good spots.
I'm feeling pretty good, man. I got a whole bidding war going on right now. We'll chat about that.
We'll get into that. Yeah. We'll save that.
But you got some defensive backs to talk about, Miles.
I do.
What's going on over there?
There's some pretty notable names on here, and I'm just going to start with these 3 guys because I had to watch them go down one by one, drop like flies. We got 3 Cardinal DBs on here. We got Max Melton, the 2nd round pick last year out of Rutgers. He is out with a knee, but I did see that he is participating in practice this week, so they kind of avoided catastrophe with him. I think he's been on the rise. Somebody who already was elite, one of the better slot corners in the league, Garrett Williams. That was the one that scared me the most. I was thinking season ending, kind of ACL, MCL, something like that. He got put on IR. As far as I can tell, they said that they are hopeful to get him back. So I'm thinking some sort of grade of a knee sprain. So, definitely thankful he's not out for the year, but still, that's a big miss for that defense. And then Will Johnson, he's got a groin. He played after that injury. He played a couple snaps, but he's not practicing like Max Melton.
Right.
So, I think all things considered, if you can get 2 of the 3 of those guys back in the next handful of weeks, that's going to be a big win for that young secondary. Jumping over to another Bird team, AJ Terrell, another notable. He's out with the hamstring. And that their defense looked good. Atlanta's did. Their pass rush looked good. So I think it won't be as big of a hit on them because we all know DB's jobs are easier when you can pressure the quarterback.
Right.
So I think the Falcons will be fine. Jalen Johnson out with a groin for the Bears. I think that one's worse for sure. I mean, you look at the Bears roster and it's good on paper, but a bad 0-2 start. They just got mollywopped by the Lions. No. Any Bears fans out there saying the same thing? It's just unfortunate. Jalen Johnson's one of the best DBs in the league. So that's a big miss. Christian Fulton for the Chiefs is out with an ankle. Don't care about that. They're off to 0-2. So let's throw a party. And then Akella Witherspoon in the residing Rams in our NFC West out with the shoulder. So there are a lot of bad kind of like notable DBs that are out with injuries for varying different times. But
you know what that means? It means the pass game is going to pick up big time.
Yeah. And it's going to take a big jump. And this is already a passing league. It's an offensive league. And You kind of brought up.
We were just talking about that. How the points are they're going crazy. I mean, these are such high scoring games. We're seeing huge plays down the field. The NFL is just so much different than it used to be.
It is, yeah. Well, and the rules favor the offense. Scoring more points is sexy.
Right.
So
tough to be a defender in this league.
Is
tough.
It is, because I mean you're at the fate of laundry being thrown on the field, and just it's just not easy for these guys. But it was looking easy out there for Justin Herbert. I think he's making a case for MVP. Biggest winners and losers. Let's go.
All right, man. Biggest winners and losers. Miles, kick us off.
Yeah, like I said, Justin Herbert, he's been playing really well. Seems like they're putting more of an emphasis on the passing attack for the Chargers. Jim Harbaugh's kind of, making a little shift with their offensive identity. Justin Herbert, through 2 weeks, has 5 passing touchdowns, 0 interceptions, 560 passing yards, a 127.8 passer rating, and something that kind of makes this, ties this all together, their passing offense is number 4 in the league as of right now, but their rushing offense is number 25. So if you can't, we literally just said this is a passing league. If you can't run the ball, you need to be able to throw the ball downfield, get chunk plays, and Herbert's been doing a great job with that.
And he's really utilizing his weapons. I mean, they're spreading the ball all over the place, and I think the addition of Keenan Allen has actually been a huge benefit for them. I mean, he's become what looks like, if through 2 weeks, a safety blanket for Justin Herbert. And excuse me, if I'm going to jump forward into fantasy real quick, but if Keenan Allen's hanging around on a waiver somewhere, snag him.
Yeah.
He is putting up big numbers right now, and I can't believe how many leagues I saw him just sitting around on the waivers.
Yeah.
So.
Well, especially if you got a guy like Devontae Smith, AJ Brown. I mean, that Eagles offense just isn't prioritizing the pass. They have 0 passing touchdowns through the first 2 weeks. Hurts barely had 100 passing yards last week against the Chiefs. So, yeah, I agree. If you got one of those 2 guys, but you see Keenan Allen floating around, then it's a worthy pickup because he can help carry the slack. But even outside of Keenan Allen, they have that rapport. He's a good safety blanket. Check. Lad McConkey had a great rookie season. He's looking to carry that into year 2. I still think he's got some elite speed. He's a good receiver. But Quentin Johnston,
dude, I was just about to say Johnston.
A shock.
Yeah.
I mean, the infamous Butterfinger receiver that we all know and love, he's been going off.
Yep.
He's got 3 touchdown catches through the first 2 games. I mean, you see that 60-yard bomb against the Raiders. He's been looking a lot better. He's emerged as that deep threat receiver that they kind of hoped he would be coming out of TCU. So it is cool to see him kind of shake off that rust, all that negative juju on him about dropping the ball, and kind of emerge as that receiver that we kind of expected a first-round receiver to look like.
Right. And not to change the subject, but I something you reminded me of as we're having this conversation. I think Paul is kind of eating his words right now, because the Chargers are reminding me a lot of the Ravens offense. They did not run the ball really at all last week, and they are spreading the ball around in such a similar way. They got DeAndre Hopkins, they got Zay Flowers. They're utilizing their tight ends in short yardage situations. So, the Ravens are another one that look just like the Chargers right now, and their pass offense is really, really strong. I'm going to move on to their biggest loser of the week. Biggest loser of the week for me, I finally get to have my own biggest loser, my sole biggest loser through 7 weeks.
This is your debut of the biggest loser.
It is. And I think it's a good one. Linebacker Dondrea Tillman of the Denver Broncos, man. That poor guy. No time remaining on the clock. Dude gets called for leverage. He pushes himself up on the center to try to block the field goal. Gets called for leverage. and Spencer Schrader misses the 60-yard field goal. They get 15 yards. Again, no time remaining. The Colts get 15 yards, kick a 45-yard field goal, make it win the game.
Yeah. Do you think I'm seeing a lot of conspiracy that was a Vegas call? Because
potentially, maybe, because we don't see the leverage get called.
It had been a long time since it was called, and you know it's happened.
You see it all the time.
You see it,
yeah,
and it never gets called. So I think with all the involvement Vegas has with the NFL, it would not surprise me if they reviewed that. They said that's nitpicky. Like, I think something about.
And I don't want to get too deep into NFL conspiracies. I think it's really easy to go down those rabbit holes. But Danny Dimes is looking really good through the first couple weeks, and maybe that's working in their favor. So I don't know. But speaking of our biggest winners and losers, Miles was a pretty big winner in this last week. I unfortunately lost. And it's time for the dual threat bet. So, man, I had Terry plus 60. We took Washington and Green Bay for the game of the week. I had Terry plus 60, and he screwed me. Yep, classic.
He did.
Classic Terry McLaurin, and that he's not had a good couple of weeks, and that's what happens when you miss all of training camp when you
hold out for contracts. Yep. And you're not practicing with the team, you're not practicing with your quarterback,
and now you're not worth the money that they're paying you. It's disgusting, really. I hate contract disputes. I hate seeing guys sit out like that. It just makes for bad football.
It does.
It's really unfortunate.
Because you saw the same thing with Brandon Ayuk last year.
Yep.
All that offseason drama, and then he comes in. It was the first 4 or 5 weeks. He was very underwhelming. And then guys get
injured.
And then they get injured.
See it happen all the time.
Yep.
And, I saw something today that was like, it's time to trade for Terry. Dude, I wouldn't touch Terry McLaurin with a 10-foot pole at this point if I was another team. I just don't trust it, frankly. So.
Well, he's older, and then now that he's got that contract, I wouldn't touch him either.
Yeah.
To be honest, but he's not going anywhere for the foreseeable future. So
what was your
my win?
Yeah, what was your win?
So I got to pick the game. I got to pick the winner, and I obviously picked the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
They are clearly younger, more athletic, better coached. Matt LaFleur. I mean, you see that guy scheme open 7th round wide receivers. He's an offensive mastermind. So, right. And that plays even more into why you and I, mainly you, think the Packers could be going all the way.
Yeah. And dude, the Bills are looking so good this season that I think if I had to make a Super Bowl pick, it would probably be the Bills. But I think the Packers could make it there at the very least. And so you take the lead here, Miles.
I do. We finally have a definitive leader in this. We have been tied this whole time.
It'll change next week.
Yeah, you're right. I'll go up by 2 games. I'll be spreading that gap, but
dude, that beer mile's calling your name, man.
It's really not. I don't want to do that. There's too much beer and running involved with these punishments that we're at stake for. So I am
terrified of our other fantasy league
which
punishment. One? I do not want to pay that bill.
Are you more scared of doing the fantasy one than our dual threat bet punishment?
Absolutely, because I can only imagine how much those guys can drink. I'm scared to see how much they can put away.
Well, and then even if we're taking our time, that's still 11 people running up a tab. Mm-hmm. So
yeah, Ryan better hit the treadmill because it's not looking good for him right now.
It's not. I think either way though, I'm going to puke my brains out if I have to do either punishment. That's just gross.
Did we already talk about what the punishment for that league is in depth? Did we go into the whole thing?
I believe we did, but just to recap for you guys, so the loser is going to be dropped off at a park around 3 miles away from a bar that we're all going to go to. The other 11 people in the league, they're going to be running up a tab. The loser has to run all the way to the bar, and for every mile they run, they have to chug a beer.
Mm-hmm.
So that's already gross.
Yep.
So you got to do that 3 times, clear 3 miles, and then when you finally get to the bar, you can pay off the tab. So that's just brutal.
Yeah.
I would rather do our punishment because there's no financial stake on the line, but they're both gross.
Yeah,
like,
I'm probably not looking forward to it.
I'm probably gonna puke no matter what. So,
if one of us loses, we have to record.
Oh, that's gonna be good content. Like,
yeah,
that's
we
the
have
only
to
win.
record it.
That's the only win for us is that we can post our shame and our misery.
Oh man,
for you guys to laugh at. So, but I think it's time to draw our bets.
Yeah, man. So, it is rivalry week, guys.
First one of the year.
Yep, first one of the year. We'll get another one. Do you know when they play again? I can't remember.
I assume it's going to be closer to the end of the year.
Yeah. Hopefully we get an opportunity to do that. But it is rivalry week, and the Cardinals are playing the Cowboys. And
wait, what did you say? I think you said the Cowboys.
Sorry,
49ers
not
and
the
Cardinals.
Cowboys. Yeah, 49ers and Cardinals. Sorry, I got distracted there for a second.
Yeah, there was some loud music outside.
Anyway, but all of our bets in here are related to that game. We have some player props. I think we got 4 player props, 2 from each team, and then we have the over-under for the game. So if one of us pulls the over-under for the game, then we get to pick either the over or the under, and
you have the choice on that. But the rest of them we picked over for the player props, so you have no flexibility with that.
All right, Miles.
Let's start us off here. No cheating. Mix these up really good. All right, Jared, you draw. So you look dissatisfied.
What'd you get, Miles?
I got the over under. This is 2 weeks in a row where I control my own
something else. You are something else. You know that?
Anyway, I got the magic touch. But
Miles,
we don't have it written down. Do you remember what the over under was?
I don't.
Okay.
I forgot to put it on the card. Here, we can. You got it?
Yeah, I'll look it up.
All right. Well, while you're looking it up, I will tell you right now what mine is. So James Conner, first rush, plus 3.5 yards.
Okay, so here's the thing with that one is that their run game hasn't been good. Over under is set at 43.5.
Okay.
So
here, you want to write that on there?
Yes. Their run game hasn't looked that good. James Conner hasn't looked too good. So, and the Niners defense has been playing pretty well. I don't think that's a horrible bet because everybody and their mother knows that the Cardinals are going to be running the ball on 1st and 10. So Fred Warner is going to come in like a heat-seeking missile and probably tackle Conner behind the line.
Yeah, it's good for you. It's great for you.
I know. Like I said, I'm going up 2 games this week.
Yeah, you might be going up. You might be going up 2-0 on me.
Well, that still depends. 43.5.
What are you doing? What are you doing with that? I know what I would do. What are you gonna pick?
I'm picking the under.
Me too.
Yeah,
me too.
Just because the Cardinals' offense still hasn't looked very buttoned up. Their passing game still concerns me greatly, and I almost wanted to dedicate a segment of this show to just explode on the Cardinals and express my anger, but you guys don't need to hear my annoying voice talk about a team you don't care about. So, but more of the story in a nutshell. Cardinals offense hasn't looked good, and then on the other side, you got Mac Jones, maybe Brock Purdy. I know he practiced this week if he's looking to come back, but
yeah, it's a maybe. Either way, I
no
think
playmakers.
I think we're going to be okay. Honestly, I think the Niners are probably going to win that game. Yeah. I think their defense is going to hold up against Kyler Murray. I'm not sure he's tall enough to see over our defenders, so I'm not super worried about it.
Why are you so mean? You're so mean to Kyler.
Oh, it's all right, dude. We'll get him a car seat and maybe put some lifts in his.
Yeah, he's got some
cleats.
thick insoles.
Yeah,
and then I previously said they need a booster seat for him on the plane.
right.
So
right.
I'm looking for a 2-game lead here for sure. This is looking tasty.
Well, Miles, you're looking for a 2-game lead, and you started off 2-0 in fantasy. I think it's time to get into our next segment. Now, before we get into how our fantasy teams operated this week and what our records were, I want to talk about week 8. So Miles and I chatted about this earlier this week, and we are actually going to play each other in week 8 of fantasy.
We are.
You can see the fear in his eyes. He's very scared right now. We decided that we were going to do a punishment actually for that week. And I came to Miles yesterday when we were prepping for the show, and the punishment that I brought to him was that whoever loses has to wear whatever the winner decides, and it could be a face full of makeup, it could be a tutu, it could be Miles said he's picturing me in a bikini. So
I do that anyway.
I was gonna say I thought that was probably a regular thing for you, but yeah. I'm pretty excited. I have some pretty big ideas. Marla's pretty good with the makeup, so I'm thinking probably like shirtless, tutu, full face of makeup, full hair. Maybe like one of those pageant girls. That's
Well, do you want to hear some Miles lore here?
You're gonna have to grow the hair out for me too.
Oh, I'm not doing that shit again. No,
it was so long.
It was.
Watch your profanity.
Well, and you had long hair too at one point.
I did,
and then I got a haircut.
Mine was gross though. Mine was really gross.
I got my haircut, and then Jared got his haircut, and he got the Miles cut. I remember when you came to work
I came in and
that?
I was like, I didn't know what it was gonna look like. I just told him, I'm like, just make it easy so that I don't have to do anything with it in the morning. And I walked into work that day and I looked at Miles and I'm like, dude, they gave me your exact haircut.
Well, I mean, yeah, the only difference is the hair color, but it is easy, isn't it?
Miles wishes he was a ginger.
I mean, I'm Irish. I think I have some ginger in my genes.
You got the ginger genes?
Yeah, but I was gonna say to take you guys down the Miles lore road. I've been dressed as a drag queen before, so this is not new to me. If I'm going to be putting on a wig and putting on makeup and some beautiful dress, as long as there's no corsets.
I didn't say anything about beautiful.
Really? You don't think I could rock anything you put me in? I just told you that I imagine you in a bikini out of pleasure, and this is what you're doing to me.
I don't even know where to take this conversation. I'm not.
Yeah, how about let's just take it to how we did in our fantasy.
All right.
How did our fantasy week shape out?
Way to make it weird, Miles. All right, fantasy. I'm just kidding, Miles. I love you very much.
Do you?
Yeah.
Look, just tell us how you did.
All
Tell
right.
us how you did.
All right, man. I went 2-2 this week, and I'm pretty upset about it. Actually, I had a really good opportunity to go 3-1, and then all of a sudden they decided to give that last fumble by Amari and Hampton to Justin Herbert,
and that actually seemed to have screwed a lot of people over.
Yeah,
like, you're not the only one.
Yeah, I was in line to win that week, and it really screwed me. I was very upset about it. I did well in my other 2 leagues. My sleeper league I won, my NFL league I won, but my 2 Yahoo leagues were really tough. One I wasn't even close, and then like I said with that Amari and Hampton fumble, that would have won me the game, but it actually made me lose by 1 point. So pretty disappointed there. I'm looking for a comeback this week against Ryan. He already seems to be shitting his pants, so
watch your profanity.
Not too worried.
He is. Yeah. I mean, because I just got off of beating Ryan.
Yeah.
And you shared a little interesting statistic about my fantasy team that I think is, kind of a gut punch.
Yeah, you want me to put that out? Well, honestly, if you if you weren't talking up your team so much, I probably wouldn't have said anything about it. But Miles is 2-0 right now, but his team also has the lowest points against in our league. We
win ugly, baby.
Yeah,
that's how you win in the NFL.
He's only got 166 points against through 2 weeks. So
I've been kind of fortunate because Ryan has Josh Allen. He put up 11 points. CMC was his highest scorer with 22, and everyone else just didn't do anything.
Well, he doesn't have much of a lineup left after that.
Yeah, his lineup is a little questionable, but
he's starting to get desperate. He's starting to get desperate. I'm seeing a lot more offers from Ryan over the last couple days, and he's been trying to fleece me for a couple of my starters, and I'm like, I do need a quarterback. I had Joe Burrow, and I do need a quarterback, but man, I don't know if I'm willing to give up everything that he's got just for Josh Allen. I had another. This is something we were going to talk about. I had another guy send me a trade offer. I had two more trade offers sent to me. One was for JSN for Tyreek Hill. I've got this weird bidding war going for JSN. I got home from work today. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I got 3 other people that are trying to snag him from me. The best one though, and honestly, I kind of think I'm gonna take it. I'm looking for a quarterback. I'm feeling a little bit concerned. I got Danny Dimes, who, that could end up being really good for me, but I think that under the circumstances, it might not be bad to have another quarterback. Someone sent me a trade, JSN for Justin Herbert and Devontae Adams.
I think you should take that right now.
I don't know if you're saying that because you want to see my downfall or if you actually think that it's a good trade, but I kind of think that it's a good trade. I need a good quarterback. Justin Herbert's put up plus 20 points over the last 2 weeks. Devontae Adams only has 6 less points than JSN over the last 2 weeks, which means, he's getting targeted. He's got a good report, seems like, with Matthew Stafford. That could turn out to be a really good thing. Here's my biggest concern is I need someone to replace Devontae with. I have some good wide receivers, but they're not putting up number 1 receiver points. They're putting up number 2 receiver points.
Right.
And I'm deep at running back, which is a good thing. But Devontae's a little bit older, man. And if he gets injured, then that trade is pretty much useless to me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I could have stuck with Danny Dimes and kept JSN, who is obviously, even with Seattle's quarterback struggles, is still popping off from a fantasy perspective. He's still going to be targeted. I think he's on the field. He has like an 89% snap percentage right now, which is huge, and he's getting 63% of the targets on Seattle's roster. Those are massive numbers.
Yeah.
So
if you're being prioritized, you're going to be effective like that.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you guys about the trade that Jared is shoving down my throat. So he really wants CeeDee Lamb for some weird reason. So when we were prepping for this show yesterday, we got to our fantasy segment, and then we just got completely off topic talking about a trade.
I think we got sidetracked for like 25 minutes.
Yeah, we were talking about this trade.
Well, and really, this all started because we were talking about Ryan.
Because he was sending you trades.
Ryan was sending me the worst trades ever. He thinks that. Sorry, Miles, I don't mean to cut you off, but I gotta say this real quick. He thinks that AJ Brown has some mythical value that's going to come through. We are talking about the number 1 rushing team in the league, in the Eagles. Okay, when they do throw the ball, it's going to the tight ends. It's not going to the receivers. You know this better than most, and I had Devontae Smith on my roster last season.
Yeah,
the Eagles wide receivers are not good fantasy pickups.
Mm-hmm.
They do not produce the same way that other number 1 wide receivers do.
Yeah.
And I straight up told him, I said, if I take AJ Brown off your roster, it's not because you're giving me value. I'm doing you a favor and opening up a roster spot for you. I said, you're not, this isn't an even trade. I'm like,
you're better off just not including them.
Right. You can't think of these players in terms of their NFL value, because it's not the same. It is not the same at all. AJ Brown is a great wide receiver. He's amazing.
Yeah,
and so is Devontae Smith. They're both reliable, a great 2-1 punch. That could be arguably one of the best wide receiver duo, the best wide receiver duo in the league. But from a fantasy perspective, they will never top like the Ravens. You know what I mean? They're never gonna top what they're doing over there in Detroit.
Right.
You know, they're not gonna see those kinds of numbers in it. And you know, Jalen Hurts is a dump off kind of guy.
He is.
So and Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback too, but he uses his legs a lot in the red zone. So he's
Exactly.
gonna take a lot of those straight in, or they're gonna tush push him.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and that's something else we're gonna talk about the tush push. But so
let's talk about the trade. Sorry, I
you're
sidetracked
good.
us, but I want to get back
good.
on.
Yeah, speaking of sidetrack, so we were talking about this trade yesterday while trying to prep for the show, and Jared has fallen in love with CD Lamb. So he brought up the trade again. He was pestering me, and if
you make this trade, then I will trade away in Jigba.
Okay, yeah, because you'd be giving me 2 receivers.
Yes,
so
I would.
We both agreed on this package, but I haven't agreed to accept it yet. So I would be trading away CD Lamb, Breece Hall, Dalton Kincaid, and George Kittle, who is on IR for the time being. You'd be giving me back Derrick Henry, Brenton Strange, T. Higgins, Keenan Allen.
Yes.
And my wide receiver room, I don't think would suffer because I would definitely start Keenan Allen and T. Higgins over Devontae Smith for sure. And I got Tedero and McMillan as my flex. So he's kind of holding down for me there.
I think I'd be setting you up pretty good. I've said,
and my running
a lot
backs
of positive things with Brenton Strange. Your running backs would be better. For myself, I'm not that worried about losing Derrick Henry because I'd be getting Breece Hall in return. On top of that, I have really, really deep running backs. I've got Jonathan Taylor. I've got Travis Etienne, who's having a great season right now. So, and you know, at the tight end position, I need something back in the interim, which is why I asked you for Kincaid. I need to fill that spot until George Kittle would be ready.
Right. So yeah, I didn't want George Kittle involved at all. I was kind of hoping you forgot about him, but I think
it's a 4-for-4 trade. It's a 4-for-4 trade. And you're getting some good value in wide receivers. I think
it's a fair trade.
I think it is too.
But the only thing that might throw a wrench in this, and it wouldn't be a big wrench, but I traded with Jack today. I'm sure you saw. I traded away Caleb Williams. I kind of have a quarterback surplus. He needed a quarterback
for Michael Pittman. I thought that was a great trade for you.
Yeah.
You specifically, I thought that was a great trade.
Yeah, I agree. Good move. Because I still got Penix and I have Bo Nix. So Caleb was probably always going to be the one to take that fall.
Yeah.
So I still think that I got good value back, and
I'm
Jack
not sure
got
that
somebody that he needed.
Yeah, he got something that he needed. I'm not sure he got the same value.
No, I got good value.
Yeah, I think you won the trade for sure.
That was just out of necessity for him. So, you know, if I got Pittman and I'm getting T. Higgins and Keenan Allen, that's not a bad thing. So
Miles said if he was going to accept it, he would accept it here on the air on the show. So
I also said I might need to be drunk to accept it for like just some false courage.
Do I need to go get the bottle?
No.
Okay.
No, we're fine. We're fine.
You're getting good value. You're getting a running back that's boosting your roster.
Here's the one thing: is Dallas's offense is
one eternity later.
We're gonna be here for a while. Dallas's offense has looked good. And
has.
CD is putting up good performances. So
is Keenan Allen.
So is Keenan Allen, and Kyron Williams and Breece Hall have not been
under our current scoring system. Keenan Allen is 2 points behind CD Lamb over the last 2 weeks. Stressing him out. What are we going to do, Miles? We got to move on with the show.
We're gonna put a pin in that.
We're gonna put a pin in it.
Yeah, for the second week in a row.
Oh my goodness! Well, look at the content that we're losing here, Miles. My God. All right, man. Well, let's move on. All right, I wanna jump into some waiver wire wideouts. Some guys to pick up if they're still available in your league. These are guys that I targeted this week. First of all, let's go with Wan'Dale Robinson from the Giants. 24.2 fantasy points, 8 receptions, 142 yards, and a touchdown. My next guy is going to be Troy Franklin of the Broncos. 20 fantasy points, 8 receptions, 89 yards, and a touchdown. Diami Brown from the Jags, 15.1 points, 5 receptions, 57 yards, and a touchdown. And finally, this guy is he's a guy I've been keeping my eye on, and I think that he is going to continue to have a big season. I already said this. The Ravens are passing the ball around. They're sharing the points, and he's put up 2 touchdowns in the last 2 weeks. So he's being productive. He's seeing red zone targets, and that's what you want to see out of your fantasy wide receivers. It's going to be DeAndre Hopkins of the Ravens. Last week, he was my lowest scorer out of this group, but if he's putting up touchdowns on a week-to-week basis, he's a guy that can easily slide into your flex spot when you need him. 13.4 points, 2 receptions, 64 yards, and a touchdown. So the reason why he got the least amount of points, he's seeing the least targets, which is obviously, that's obviously a little bit telling. He's not going to get a lot of the big targets, but he's getting the red zone targets, and that's what's most valuable. So, that's something that you want to see out of your guys. I do have a bonus, a sleeper for you guys. This isn't a wide receiver, but the Patriots defense. They're averaging right now. Let me see. I don't have the average on my stats here. I apologize for that. But 17.5 points week 1, 22.5 points week 2, 9 sacks, 2 interceptions through 2 weeks. You got 9 sacks through 2 weeks.
That's good.
That is nuts. These guys are rolling, and even though they lost that week 1 game right to the Raiders, am I right? Raiders beat them week 1. Yeah, that is what happened.
Yeah.
Even though they lost that week 1 game to the Raiders, I am still feeling really good about them. I mean, from a fantasy perspective, they're putting up big numbers, and I hope that continues. They had a couple soft opponents, right? Again, the Raiders and then the Dolphins last week. So we'll see how that trend continues. But as of right now, the Patriots are my deep sleeper pick.
I like that.
Yep,
I like that.
Got anything to add to that, Miles? You make any decisions on this trade? Our fantasy segment is basically over.
You make me nervous.
This
makes me nervous. You make me nervous.
Listen, man, I'm intense. I don't play any games out here.
I know. Maybe I'll surprise you.
I've been doing this a long time. I know what I want, and I'm not afraid to go out and get it or ask for it. So.
I'm looking at it, dude. How about you just transition us?
All right.
Yeah.
Well, it's hard for Miles to part ways with his number one pick, and I understand because I'd be sending him my number 1 pick. But while Miles mules that over, I'm actually gonna let you take our first hot take of the day.
Yeah, so we've seen a lot of controversy. We mentioned it earlier about the Philadelphia Eagles and their world famous tush push. Made it a staple in the league. Nobody does it better than them. But I'm sure if you guys are involved in the NFL world, you saw some clips of the Eagles and the Chiefs where when you put it in slow-mo and they run that play, all the linemen are false starting, the center's lining up over the ball, and they already had a vote on this last season about potentially banning it, and obviously it's still here to stay. But from an officiating perspective, if that is happening a lot, it needs to be reevaluated.
Yeah.
because I'm not gonna sit here and say I
Well, and
hate
I
the
think
tush push.
They were evaluating it initially because they were concerned about injury.
And there are no injuries from
Right.
that play that we've seen. And I think that's a great thing.
Mhm.
That's obviously a concern you need when it comes to those big pileups. No injuries, but the penalty aspect that is going unnoticed is a big problem.
And it was pretty egregious.
It was really egregious.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I highly doubt the league would not do this. They're not going to make a rule change mid-year unless something is so egregious.
We won't see anything until next season.
Unless something becomes so egregious. But I think they need to reevaluate this again and send in another vote, because I don't do this often. I'm going to side with the officials here. You even heard Dean Blandino say that like this is an impossible thing to officiate.
How do you do it? Because when they're snapping the ball, the center is immediately leaning in and diving for the ground.
Yeah.
How can you even see the ball move?
Right.
It's almost impossible to see if the ball moved or not.
Right.
You know? And so, I am with you, man. I think it needs to be reevaluated. At the very least, they've got to be able to officiate it better, find a better way to do that. I know that they're talking about chipping the ball and doing all these different things, but at the end of the day, I'm not I'm not here for the Eagles' downfall. I'm not a big Eagles fan by any means. But
I hate the Eagles.
I'm not here for the Eagles' downfall. I just don't. I want to see the game called correctly, and as we all do. So we all struggled with that. I think a lot last season with the Chiefs. I think that has created a lot of animosity towards them.
Right.
You see Miles and I cheer every week as they lose.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
and by the way, what a beautiful world we live in where the Chiefs are 0-2. I just have to put that out there real quick.
And lost 3 straight.
Yep.
So you haven't seen Patty Mahomes do that since like high school or something like that. So yeah, it's a nice year in our football lord of 2025.
Mm-hmm.
So, but speaking of evaluating, we got some evaluation here with your hot take. Because
and this
is an interesting one.
And this is a hot take, I think.
Yeah.
I know that they had a bad week 1 against Green Bay, but the Lions, I think, are going to upset the Ravens this week, man. I think it's going to happen. I think it's going to be a shootout, but overall, I think that the Lions' defense is going to prevail, and that's going to be the biggest thing. We saw that the Ravens down the stretch couldn't hang in the shootout with Buffalo, and I think that that's going to be the biggest difference. Last week, Amon-Ra started to get hot. Him and Jared Goff started to connect really well. Their run game was picking up. So I think we're going to see a shootout there. I think that Detroit's defense is going to stand strong down the stretch, and I think it'll be close.
Yeah.
But I have the Lions winning that game, and that's my hot take for the week.
Okay. And we talked about this yesterday, too. Lamar Jackson's only lost to one NFC team.
Right.
So, and now is the infamous Daniel Jones, who's taking the world by storm now. But
I don't know what's going on over there.
Could Jared Goff be the next quarterback to finally beat him?
You know what, man? Anybody named Jared can do anything.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know the almighty power
We're a
of
special
Jared.
breed, man.
Yeah.
We're a special breed. So, I believe in my boy over there, Jared Goff, to take that game this Sunday. Or is that's Monday night's game? Excuse me.
Is that Monday night's
Monday?
game?
Yeah.
Sick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So maybe I'll be publicly embarrassed on primetime, basically.
You and Jared Goff will let down all Jareds in the world.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be a great game.
Oh, it'll be a fun game.
But your boy Ethan has some questions for us.
He does.
He not?
Yeah. Let's bring that boy up.
Right on. All right, guys, we're heading into our fourth quarter, and it's time for the fourth quarter question of the week.
And as we dial him up, I'll just give a little context to, well, he'll probably answer pretty quick.
Sorry about that.
No, you're fine.
Hey, guys.
Hey, Ethan, you're on the 2 Point Perspective with Young Broadcaster and Miles on the mic. How you doing, man?
Good, man. How you guys doing?
Doing good, man. Thanks for taking the call. So you had a spicy take about Russell Wilson, and his kind of like his solidified position as a starting quarterback, and you thought it was going to be he's going to be thrown to the curb a little earlier, but what say you now?
And it's tough because I'm looking at the stats right here, and he had a terrible game one, and then completion percentage at 45%, 160 yards, like just awful. And then Dallas comes in, he pretty much throws 450 yards, 3 touchdowns, 73% completion rate, and I thought by week 4 he was going to be pushed to the side for the Dart or who's this? Dart or
Jackson Dart or Jameis Winston.
Jameis Winston. So right now I'm kind of feeling like he's earned himself past week 4 starter's position, but I'm not sure how far he's going to last if he doesn't have more consistency.
Yeah. Well, I mean that game he had, that was a monster game. And us three know almost better than anyone, when he was on the Seahawks, he had one of the best deep balls in the league.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have a deep ball threat like Malik Neighbors that can bring that aspect of Russell Wilson's game back, it's going to be extremely successful. So Russell Wilson is a certified veteran. Jameis Winston is too, but just in terms of performance, I don't see Russell Wilson losing that job unless he literally outright loses it.
I would agree with you there.
Yeah, I think to be completely honest, I think he'd have to get injured. The veteran presence that he brings, yeah, he had a tough week 1, but think about this. He did not play. Did he play any preseason snaps at all?
I think he did.
Maybe a couple. But, he's getting into gear with a brand new team. He's learning a new system. He's developing chemistry with his wide receivers. And then you see him come out week 2 and throw for 400-plus yards. I mean, I think that down the stretch, you're looking at his leadership presence. You're looking at his playoff experience. I'm not saying that the Giants are going to make the playoffs, but I just think that is so much more valuable than rushing a rookie out to the field when he doesn't need to be out there. And even if they're losing games, I don't see them putting in Jackson Dart. I could see them sliding Jameis Winston in there first. I think that Jameis Winston has a really strong veteran presence as well. The guys really like him a lot.
Yeah.
He brings good energy. We see that all the time.
Yeah, just imagine how fun those games would be, though, with Jameis Winston in there.
Oh, they're fun without him starting, and so I can't even imagine. But at the same time, I think that Russ brings a little more control to the game for the Giants, and I just don't see it happening. I think he'd have to get injured. So
I agree,
and he's kind of an escape artist. Russ is not a guy that gets injured very often. He is getting older, but he still was able to move around that pocket. We saw that. We saw the big arm down the field.
Mm-hmm.
He was still able to make some pretty decent throws. We saw that big one to Neighbors in the end zone at the end of the game. So, I feel good for the Giants with Russ in there. I think he's probably going to stay and continue to operate under center for the Giants. I don't see them making a move anytime soon.
Agreed.
The only reason I'd say they bench him if he keeps making decisions late in games that loses him the game. So he got a 400-yard game, but he threw the interception just up for grabs,
right? And
it lost him.
And that is absolutely a thing, right? Like I definitely hear where you're coming from. The only thing is, though, when you're in overtime, man, those guys are so tired. Like, especially for throwing for as many yards as he did, he put the whole game basically on his back. And I just, you get down to the wire, and it's not like they were one possession. They were playing basically an entirely other court, like an entire fifth quarter, right?
That went down to 30 seconds left or something like that.
Yeah, it's got to be exhausting for those guys. So I'm gonna give them a little bit of wiggle room there from my end. Obviously, you guys got your opinions. I don't want to disrespect that, but I think when you're talking about overtime and you're playing a full fifth quarter like that, I'm gonna give him one there.
Well, and if you don't
in a game where we thought that he had no chance anyway, where the Giants had no chance, right?
If you don't have to suffer the fate of Brandon Aubrey and his 64-yard field goal,
right,
you're probably looking at winning that game.
Warm-up.
Yeah. So I don't think Russ is in any danger as of right now.
No, I don't think so either. I think they're also asking him to do a lot right now, and I don't think that Jameis Winston or Jackson Dart could take on the weight of what Russ is shouldering. So
right. Well, and Brian Dable is also trying to keep his job.
Right.
So who's going to give him the best chance to win? Mm-hmm. And they believe it's Russ. So
I'm right there with him.
Yeah, Ethan. So you also expressed that you have some trade inquiries in your fantasy league. And we are excited to hear them just because we just got done talking about our trades for the day. So, what do you got?
Oh, are we done talking about our trades for the day, Miles? Is that, sorry, Ethan, you're
you're all good.
Ethan, this is all you missed, dude. Like just Jared pestering me and like making me feel anxious about these fantasy trades that I want no part of. But then I feel like I get some good value, but I'm too scared to pull the trigger. So hopefully you're not in the same situation with somebody like breathing down your neck. But I mean, who do you got, and like what's the lay of the land with your fantasy league?
So I'm commissioned this year, and my team is actually 2-0 right now. Big games from Amon-Ra and Puka both weeks. Took me over the edge both times. The trade I have though. So I'm pretty set on wide receiver. But the trade I have, though, is for Ladd McConkey, and somebody's offering me Kyle Pitts.
Oh, God.
Yep. Now, I do have TJ Hawkinson and Travis Kelce, and I'm wondering if I could replace TJ Hawkinson with Kyle Pitts, but I'm not too sure right now.
Jared, what say you?
Yeah, man. I think that Ladd holds a lot of late season value. I don't think that Kyle Pitts is the guy, to be completely honest. I think that if somebody gets injured down the stretch for the Chargers,
mm-hmm.
I think Ladd's going to be the next guy up, and he could see some big scoring potential from Justin Herbert. And so, honestly, I would reject that trade. I probably wouldn't take it, especially if you're deep at tight end. Honestly, I would never keep probably more than 2 tight ends on my roster at any given time. I like to stash my wide receivers. They go down easy, right? You never know when somebody's going to go down. And honestly, on the other side of that, sometimes I'll just stash guys because I don't want anyone else to have them, which I know is selfish, but those are also things that win you your league.
It's strategy.
You know what I mean? So honestly, I would hang on to Ladd if I were you. I don't think that Kyle Pitts is. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze there with Kyle Pitts.
I think I would agree. I do agree that Ladd is going to have better late season value. Obviously, I think Kyle Pitts is being utilized more. I think Penix will target him more, but we've had a 4-year sample size of this, and
I think if you didn't have the other 2 tight ends, I would consider it more. But it sounds like you're pretty deep at tight end there.
Yeah, because Travis Kelce is the best pass catcher on the field right now for them. He's really the only option they have, and TJ
Him or
Hawkinson,
Brown, I think.
Yeah, but I think Ladd is just kind of suffering from the fact that they signed Keenan Allen and Quentin Johnson's having this monstrous start.
Mm-hmm.
So will he replicate what he did last year? Maybe not to the same degree, but I still think that he's a valuable asset to have just later down the line.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to try to make a counter offer here to read you the people I'm okay with letting know.
Okay.
Michael Pittman Jr., Hawkinson, Hollywood Brown, and Cam Scadaboo. I'm currently leaning for
how big is your bench, dude? How many people do you have in your league? That's pretty clean.
We did 2 flexes this year, so we have an extra bench spot.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Okay. Man, I don't know. Jared, do you have an opinion?
Read them off to us one more time.
All right, Michael Pittman Jr., T.J. Hawkinson, Hollywood Brown, and Cam Scatterbo. I do have Cam Scatterbo for the meme, by the way. I just want to let that be known.
Yeah, I mean, I would dump Scat pretty much
right.
as soon as you can. But if obviously the value isn't there for Pittman if you're just offering up Scat, but probably Hollywood. Honestly, I just don't have a lot of faith in the Chiefs right now. So
you and me both, buddy.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll side with Jared. I don't think I have too much of a hard opinion on that. I'm not the fantasy guru that you guys are. I don't do this too often, so.
And I really like Michael Pittman, man.
I do too. I really literally just traded for him.
Yeah, Daniel Jones is really popping off here at the start of the season. I hope that he can continue to keep that trend going week to week, but I think Michael Pittman's more valuable than Hollywood Brown.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you, Ethan.
Yeah, brother.
Keep going, guys. I love your shit. I've been watching it for 3 weeks now, and it's amazing. So keep going.
Thanks for the support, bro.
Yeah, right on, man. Appreciate it.
Of course, man. Anytime.
All right. Take care.
Go Cardinals.
Take care. Go Niners.
Yeah, go Niners.
Dang, dang. 2-0, baby. 3-0.
Niner gang.
Oh, man. Yeah, I've known that guy for a long time. He used to be
man.
my neighbor. I was just a wee lad when I first met him, and
A wee lad.
that was back when the Niners had Kaepernick, and they were a powerhouse. And he would come over to my house after the game wearing his Niner jersey, where the Cardinals probably just got their ass kicked. So, yeah,
hey,
we go way back.
We appreciate having him on. Thank you,
Yeah.
Ethan, for being on the show. And yeah, guys, 2 Point Perspective, episode 7. We are finished up here, and we will see you guys next week. Don't forget to like, follow, subscribe, comment if you guys want to be on the pod. We'd love to get your questions, and yeah.